Welcome, everyone. Brian will lead us in the opening hymn that is in your gray hymnal. It is number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. Please stand if you're willing or able. Good morning. You know how I love responsive readings, so our welcome is one of those. And one of our members is going to come to the microphone and help you with the response for the responsive reading. And it is entitled Enter the Circle by Dory J. Summers. And the response that Sharon will be directing you in is all are welcome here. Let us enter into the circle of energy and love.
All are welcome here.
We are an inclusive community of faith and kindness, memory and hope.
All are welcome here.
We are a community with deep and abiding trust in the promise of goodness in every human heart and soul.
All are welcome here.
We are a community of quest, where we gather to study and search.
All are welcome here.
We are a community of service, where the gifts we give and receive are compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, and devotion.
All are welcome here.
We are a community of joy and laughter, where the worth of every individual is celebrated.
All are welcome here.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm Jennifer, your worship associate this morning, and our worship takes many people. You've heard the very talented Bill, who is our musician. Brian is going to be leading our songs. In the back of the room, we have Nancy, who is our on-site remote person. And Maggie is our technical person for those at home. So it's all of us that bring you the service today so that we can offer hybrid services. So if in the future you want to stay home because of desire or necessity, you can join us in your pajamas. If you're a guest today and are willing to do so, we invite you to stand if you're willing and able, and tell us who you are and where you're from, so we may better welcome you. Do we have any guests that wish to identify themselves today? Welcome. And do we have anyone online that wishes to identify as a guest today?
No.
All right, we invite everyone, guests and non-guests alike, to enjoy refreshments after the service. Now for church-related announcements. And remember, our church-related announcements, you can find them at our website of uuevansville.org, and you can sign up for our weekly announcements to be available in your email. Are there any church-related announcements? If so, come to the microphone so that the folks at home can hear you better.
A reminder that we will be having a potluck supper here on August the 9th. That's a Friday at 6 o'clock. Very enthusiastic audience for potluck. So please come. We haven't had one of these in quite a while now because we stopped them during COVID and then, it get complicated. But we decided it was time to have another one, so you can bring the kids, you can bring, if you have friends that want to come or whatever. There is a sign-up sheet now on the guest table. We're not asking you to be specific, but if you would tell me how many are in your party, and if you want to bring a salad or a main dish or dessert or whatever, so we can kind of keep tabs on what's coming and we know how many people to set up for. So sign up for the potluck.
Not that it would be a tragedy if we had all desserts, but
I have two announcements to make. One is that we are having a Religious Exploration Committee meeting after service today. So if you have been curious about that and you have any ideas to share, we welcome all. We will be meeting in the Credo room just off of the nursery right after the service. And then tomorrow is the deadline for the August monthly newsletter, The Compass. So if anyone has any submissions for that, those are due by tomorrow noon, please. To aoa@uuevansville.org.
Any other church-related announcement for the folks here in the room? And Nancy, Maggie, do we have anything, announcements for the folks at home?
No, we don't.
Okay, so let us transform our welcoming statement into action by taking a few moments to greet each other. And before we do, wave to the folks at home. And please return to your seats when you hear the chime play and the centering music will play. Thank you, Bill. Now it's time for the chalice lighting. And I already have a volunteer, then if she could come up to begin that. The chalice lighting reading is by Katie Savani Gelfund, and it's entitled The Abundance of Our Life Together. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop of the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time that sustains us. And now it's time for the offertory. If you're a guest, please let the plate pass you. Your presence is the gift. May the two volunteers that I've requested come up. The offertory reading is by Victoria Weinstein. Generosity is our spiritual value. This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community of membership open to all who share in accordance with our principles, mission, and vision. We are a welcoming congregation to people of all sexual orientations, and we unconditionally welcome any and all of you to our community of mutual caring and serious intent to grow as spiritually and moral beings. Our congregation is entirely self-governed by democratic processes. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all the financial support for our many ministries and among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of our spiritual values that we recognize as central to our personal and spiritual well-being, and our institutional well-being. Thank you for participating in the blessing of giving, and we accept the gifts. Thank you. And now it's time for the story for all ages. And I'm going to stay up here and do the reading instead of sitting down. And the story for all ages is the whole world inside Nan's soup. And it's written by Hunter Laguerre and illustrated by Vicky Zhang. Seeds, said Nani, when I asked her what was inside the big metal pot she was stirring in the stove. It was the same one handed down from her nanny. It smelled so good. I couldn't wait to taste it. Seeds, I asked. How can seeds be inside the pot? Seeds that grew up to be vegetables, Nanny said, smiling. There's also gardeners in the pot. Gardeners, Nanny? How could gardeners be inside the pot? Gardeners, with their gentle hands, planted the seeds that grew up to be vegetables and ended up inside the pot, Nanny winked. Soil and rain are also in the pot. Soil and rain, Nanny? Yes, see them here, Nanny nodded, stirring. In order for these seeds to grow, they would need to be placed in the soil by the gardeners with their gentle hands and then watered by the rain before they grew up to be vegetables and into the pot for soup. I stood on my tippy toes to see. They also have the sun, the moon, and the stars inside the pot. The sun, the moon, and the stars, Nani, I asked? How could they possibly be inside the pot? Without the sun, the moon, and the stars, the seeds that were planted in the soil by the gardeners with their gentle hands and then watered by the rain wouldn't grow. So they are in the pot too. Nanny put her ear into the pot, to the pot. Listen, do you hear that? It sounds like a bee, I said, listening. That's right. The bees pollinate the flowers that grow up to be vegetables planted by the gardeners with their gentle hands. Can I see what else is in the pot, Nanny? Oh, yes, there are plenty more. Nanny's eyes widened as she turned the soup. Like the farm workers who picked the vegetables with care. They're smiling as they watch over the fields under the warm sun. They make footprints in the rich soil, carrying boxes full of vegetables to the delivery trucks, boats, and trains. And then what, Nan? Then there are delivery drivers eager to take the vegetables from the farm to the market, Nanny smiled. I also see the merchants who greet the trucks, boats, and trains. They work in teams to bring the baskets of farm vegetables to the market. People gather curiously to see what they've brought. I guess that's everything, Nanny. And don't forget the electricity that keeps the lights on and the towns running. Wow, Nan, I can't believe that's all inside the pot. Anything else? Nanny thought some more, smiling bigger than ever before. What, Nanny? What else do you see in the pot? Love. Love is inside the pot, Nanny? That's right. The love of my own Nan, who taught the recipe to my mother, who then taught it to me. One special recipe passed down from generation to generation with the first Nanny, just so I could make the soup and share it with you. Will you teach me the recipe, Nanny? You'll have to remember everything that's inside the pot. But I already do. Nanny looked at me. What's inside the pot? The whole world. The end. Now we're going to sing the children out. Now, for the folks that are new, of Jalisco in the area near the volcano. It is the recipe my mom learned from my grandmother, and that my grandmother learned from my great-grandmother, and so on. I make it from time to time. I don't have the exact ingredients, or excuse me, exact measurements. So I'm been to create other meals with success, but the enchiladas have been challenging. Still, the smell of the chilies and spices together bring back the memories of family meals and shared moments. In the spaces between each step of the process, I add prayers and blessings to the food, as I know my mom and grandmother did too. Food is nourishment and culture. It carries the love, wisdom, and stories of survival of a people. When I cook the meals I learned from my mother, I am in communion with life and with my ancestors, and I receive sustenance for the body and the spirit. The prayer. May every meal bring you nourishment of body and spirit. May every pause to eat remind you of your connection to others. May gratitude be the only response for the gift of food and all the love and work behind it. Amen and blessed be. And now is the time for sharing of joys and sorrows. Now let us take a moment of silent meditation or prayer or contemplation, and then we will sing number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. We are celebrating today the first harvest, which is the pagan celebration of Lammas or Luganus, which is going to be celebrated on August 1st. It's the first harvest that traditionally celebrates the grain festival. If you'll notice, the days are starting to get shorter and shorter. I normally am an early riser. Many of you are also. And before and shortly after the solstice, the sun was already up at 5:30 when I normally waken. And it's not up anymore. The sun rose at 5:49 the other day. I'm like, yep, it's very noticeable when the sun's not up when I get up. So now the days are getting shorter and shorter. And the grains that we traditionally eat in this part of the world are traditionally wheat and corn. Some people make corn dollies as part of this tradition. I'm not crafty, that's why you don't see a corn dolly around today. Other members of the congregation have made corn dollies for this Sabbath before. Now I want you to think about how important grain is in our everyday lives. Just ponder that and think back to our more ancient ancestors. We sometimes get rain around this time, and rain at the wrong time when we're ready to harvest grains could be critical for their survival of their communities. It's still kind of critical for farmers now and for our communities, but it was much more critical for our ancestors. Also, apples and pears are beginning to ripen. Berries, melons, grapes, eggplant, sweet corn, tomatoes, summer squashes, sweet peppers are only going to be ripe probably through September. So you might want to truly appreciate those when you eat those ripe foods now and begin thinking about how you might want to preserve those through the coming months. So eat them with delight. Now is time for great abundance. Luganus is also a fire festival. And somebody saw the candle up there and said, and saw the papers that you were being handed out. And like, are we burning stuff? I'm like, yes, it's a fire festival, but we're not burning anything. It's also a cross-quarter holiday, and if you know in the pagan calendar, it's halfway between summer solstice and Mabon, which is the autumn equinox. So that's why it's a cross-quarter holiday. But instead of having a table full of the abundance of the grains that we might be consuming and the produce that might be ripening at this time of year, I wanted to have this celebration to be much more simplified. You can have any of your celebrations or sabbats be as simple or as abundant as you would like. So feel free to have a feast, feel free to have a picnic, feel free to have something solo on August 1st or with your family and friends. But I wanted to do something a little more simple. So we're going to do a very simple gratitude ritual. And that's what those papers are for. So if you don't have a paper, please raise your hand and we'll have someone bring some slips of paper to you. And if you don't have a writing instrument, we'll bring one of those as well. And can I ask for a volunteer to come and light the green candle? And if you want to duplicate this at home on August 1st or thereabouts, you'll need a candle, a small bowl of water, salts, and a spoon or a stir stick. And at home, stand or sit comfortably and ground yourself and clear your mind. Take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes. Take a few more deep breaths. And coming from you, anchoring you to the earth. Don't let take a few minutes to focus on what we're grateful for. Reflect on the abundance in your life, the blessings you've received, the positive experiences you've had. When you're ready, you can write them down on the pieces of paper and the pens that you've been applied with, and begin with, I'm grateful for, or I give thanks for. Take your time. For those who wish to continue the gratitude ritual, one at a time, come to the altar. Take the bowl of water and hold it to the candlelight. Visualize the water being charged with the energy of gratitude and blessing. Put the bowl of water down. Take a tiny pinch of salt and sprinkle it into the water and stir. As you do this, visualize the salt purifying and cleansing the water, further enhancing its energy. Then dip your fingers into the blessed water and gently anoint your forehead, your heart, and each palm. This symbolizes the purification and alignment of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with gratitude. If your tradition calls for it, you may wish to silently thank the divine, the universe, or the spirits or your ancestors for the blessings in your life. Express your intentions for the coming season. Affirm your commitment to practice gratitude and mindfulness. Anyone who would like to come to the microphone to verbally speak your gratitude may come to the microphone now.
I have a lot to be grateful for, but I would say like the number one thing on my list is Christian. He has been an absolute rock and support in my life so far. He's helped me question my identity when nobody else would allow me to do that. He has allowed me to explore my sexuality even in relationship with him because he didn't want me to regret anything. And he has helped me through all of my past traumas and family issues and a whole list of things that I've gone through. And he has seen me at some of my worst points, and he is still just there, happy to help. So just Christian, I guess.
I am grateful for being here with all the people here and for getting to know the people here.
My list is so long, and I'm still writing. The last one I wrote was science. I am so grateful to science. It allows me to live my life like I'm living it now, which is maybe not worthy. I'm really thankful for science for helping me live the great life I live.
Molly, is there anyone at home that would like to express their gratitude?
I don't see any hands.
Okay, we're going to close the ritual by grounding ourselves once more. Feel your connection to the earth. Take a few deep breaths. Bring your awareness back to the present moment. And could I have a volunteer to blow out the candle, please? When you celebrate Lammas or Luganas at home, you can do as we did today and embrace simplicity, set your intention, and just be present in the moment, whether you are solo or with family and friends. And this ritual came from Simple Lammas Celebrations, a modern witch's guide to celebrating Luganas Magical Crafting by Amy at Magical Crafting. Does anyone have any comments or questions before we go on to the closing hymn? The closing hymn will be in the Teal hymnal, number 1010. We give thanks. Please rise if you're willing and or able.
We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
The words to extinguish the chalice are in the gray hymnal in number 456, but they are also in the order of service. And they begin, "We extinguish this flame." Well, I seem to have a typo in my, I'm having a, well. The Spirit. Where are you?